A warm welcome for everyone to the session number 11 in the part of React Learning series. Irrespective of any UI framework or library we think of using for our applications front-end development, let it be React or Angular, it is very much needed for our applications UI to interact with REST APIs for performing various operations like getting the data from the database or to store the data into the database or any other business logic execution which should happen on the server. In this session, we will understand how do we make API calls from our React applications. In order to make this happen, we have to create two different kinds of projects. First one is building a web API, which will be returning, let's say, list of employees. And the second one is developing a React based application using which we will call this API, get the list of employees and display it in a React application. We will use ASP.NET platform for building the REST APIs in this demonstration. We will use Visual Studio as our IDE, and let's open Visual Studio. To create a new project, we will click on Create a New Project option available for us in the right hand side of this window. Let us search for ASP.NET Web Application Template. One can see that ASP.NET Web Application Template is available. I select this and I click on Next, and it is asking us to provide the project name. So I give the project name as Web API _ React _ client, and we can choose any location as we decide, and let's click on Create. As one can see, empty template is selected by default and we will use the same. On the right hand side of the window, please select Web API checkbox under Add Folders and Core References section, and let's click on Create. Now our Visual Studio is creating the project required for us. Now the project is created for us. Let's go to Solution Explorer, right click on Models folder, add, there is an option to select class, and let's give employee as the class name. And in this class, we will create properties like ID, name, location and salary. Now the employee class is created and it has total 4 properties. Now let us go to Solution Explorer. Let us right click on controllers, add, there is an option to select controller, and in this we will select Web API to controller empty as the template, and let's click on add. It is asking us to pass the controller name, and let's give employee controller as the controller name. Click on add. The controller class is created and this class is inheriting from API controller class. And in this class, we would like to create a method which will be returning the list of employees. So we say public list of employee is the return type. In order to get this employee type, add the required namespace, and let's give the method name as getAll, and from this method we return the list of employees. I have the employee list available handy, so I'm pasting it here. As one can see, we have a list and we are returning the list. Now our API is ready. In order to allow any other projects to access this web API, we have to enable the support of CORS, which stands out for Cross-Origin Resource Sharing. So let us go to Solution Explorer, right click on References, and here we have an option called as Manage NuGet Packages. Let us click on that. Let us switch to Browse tab and let's search for Microsoft.ASP.NET.WebAPI.CORS, and from the search results, let us select the first one and let's click on Install. Let's click OK, and it is asking us to accept the license terms, so I click on Accept. Now the installation process is completed. Let's go to Solution Explorer again, expand app _ start, and we can see a file called as web API config.cs. Let us open this file, and to enable the CORS support for this project, let us call a method called as config.enableCORS method. This enables the support of CORS for this project. Now let us go to our employee controller.cs file, and on top of this class, let us apply an attribute called as enable CORS. We have to add the required namespace. I do that by pressing Ctrl+, and to this enable CORS attribute class, we have to pass the list of origins, headers and methods we wanted to allow. So we will allow any origin, any header and any method to access this API by passing star, star and star. So with this we are done with creating our REST API. Let us build this project. Let us run this project. Now let's go to the browser URL. Let us try to access our API by using /API/employee. Let's press enter and we can see we are able to access this list of employees. So we are done with creating the web API and now we have to call this API from our React project. In order to do that, let us open index.js file from our demo project using Visual Studio Code. Let's create a class called as employee component and let us extend this class from react.component class. Let's create a constructor and let this constructor accept props as an argument, and within this constructor let us make the base class constructor call by using super keyword and let us pass these props to the base class constructor. Let's create state object and add a property called as employees and initialize this with empty array. Let's go ahead and implement the render method within this component class. And from this render method we want to return a div container. Within this div I write one h2 tag and we say employee details. Let us place a table within this div. I have that code handy and I am pasting it here. As we can see, we have a table which has a table head and table body, and within this head we have ID, name, location and salary as the header columns. Now within this table body let us iterate through the employees array of our state object. So we say this dot state dot employees and we iterate through this employees array by using a method called as map method, and to this map method let us pass an arrow function, and for every element within this employees array let us create a table row and pass the key, and we will use employee ID as the key and we obtain the ID by using emp.id, and let's place TDs for ID, name, location and salary. Now we have created our employee component class. Now let us call this employee component and let us render this element to our root container and we'll pass root as the ID. Let us save these changes. Let us navigate to the browser. Let's open a new tab and let us navigate to our localhost /3000 port number, and we can see that the table is displayed but this table does not contain any data. Now the question is, where should we write the code for sending the API request within our employee component class? Our employee component class has two methods. One is render method, another one is constructor. We want to execute some code which fetches the list of employees from our REST API whenever the employee component is rendered to the DOM. This is called as mounting in React. We can declare special methods on the component classes to run some code whenever a component mounts. These methods are called as lifecycle methods. And one of the lifecycle method available in React is ComponentDidMount. Using this method, we can run some code when the respective component is rendered to the DOM. Within this ComponentDidMount method, we will write the code to make an AJAX request to our API from our React application. Now the question is, how do we send the AJAX request from our React application? This can be done by using any AJAX library we would like to use with React. Some of the popular ones are Axios, jQuery AJAX, and the browser's built-in window.fetch. In this example, we will make use of fetch to make API calls from our React application, and about the usage of other AJAX libraries with React, we will discuss in our upcoming sessions. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Let's call the fetch method, and to this fetch method we have to pass the request information. There we have to pass our URL. So let's go back to the browser to get the URL where the API is running. Let's copy this URL and I paste it here, and this fetch method returns a promise, and using this promise object when we get the successful response, we have two activities to do. So the first one is converting the output into JSON. So we do that by calling then method, and we write an arrow function where we say input goes to input.json, and then we have to assign this output to our employees array, and we do that by writing another then method, and we will write another arrow function. Result goes to this dot set state method, and we assign this result to our employees array. Let's save these changes. Let us navigate to the browser, and we can see that the employee details are displayed in this table. This is the same data which is displayed in our other browser tab. As one can see, it is very easy to make API communication from our React application. Thank you for watching this video and have a great day.